What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy NBA Tonight, a hoop-ball.com presentation. I'm your host, Vince Miracle, and it is Friday night. Unfortunately, I will be doing the show by myself. I'm okay with that, though. You know, I feel like I'm a very talkative guy. You know what I mean? I love answering all of your guys' questions, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today. Is we're gonna have Fantasy NBA Tonight. Be free for tonight on this Friday, so we can answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. Now, how do you get your question answered live here on the show? And this is your very first time watching it. No worries. This is how you do it. Down at the bottom of this video, or if you're watching it on a laptop, there on the side, there's a live chat going on right now that I am pulling up this very moment. Quite yet. Where I'll be reading it, monitoring it very closely, and answering all of your fantasy basketball questions. A lot of things have happened over tonight. First off, we had the rematch between Porzingis and Karl Anthony Towns. That was, a whole lot of not fun, as the two players that a majority of us were probably waiting to watch and see were terrible. Well, I mean, with Towns, he still was able to score 20 points, but I mean, again, it was in a loss, and well, he shot terribly. He was like 5 of 15 from the field. Then you had the side of Porzingis, where he finished 11 points. He was 2 of 12 from the field, and it was just a bad night overall. Then you have the Toronto Raptors, who won 113-80. Again, another blowout, another boring game. That was terrible. You had Kings and Boston. Now, a lot of you guys may think that I might say this just because I'm out here in Sacramento and I actually cover the team a little bit, but no, that's probably been the most entertaining game of the night out of all of them. Chicago, Cleveland, that was kind of a little bit of a snore fest, as Cleveland seems to be on a little bit of a losing streak, and they're not looking that well. Clippers, again, blowout over the Pelicans, which was expected. Surprisingly, though, they were only favored by 4 points heading into the game when I last checked. Detroit blows out the Hawks. Washington, San Antonio, you can say that was a good game, but San Antonio never looked to be in worry if they were going to lose this one. And as of right now, the Houston Rockets, who were underdogs by 2.5 points as of last night, are up by 10. So a lot of weird lines that are not turning out the right way, but we'll see if the Denver Nuggets can change that and make Vegas keep their lights on for a little while longer. Again, guys, this is Fantasy NBA Tonight. This is a hoop-ball.com presentation. I am your host, Vince Miracle, as I adjust my camera there, and you probably see my dog walking around in the background. And I'm here to answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. And how do you get your question answered live here on the show? In that live chat on the right-hand side, if you're watching on a desktop, where it says live chat. If you're watching it on your phone, all you have to do is put that question down in the live chat. I'm monitoring the live chat very closely. I'm here to answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. So it looks like you guys are already getting in here a little bit. And Western 316 or Westender. Again, I'm terrible with names. I've said that countless times. Do I sell Trev Booker with Demo likely to come in? Honestly, no. I don't think Trevor Booker is the one you have to worry about losing any touches. I think, Demo can take a lot of the backup minutes away from Justin Hamilton, and I think that's who's going to see the bulk of the value of being lost. And I think that's something that's going to be kind of hard a little bit, with hoop ball, praising Jay Ham so much over the past few weeks and basically over the offseason about how he has the potential to be that top 120 guy. But with Demo there, I don't think you should worry about selling Trevor Booker. I think his minutes are going to be solidified. He plays a key role to that starting unit with his defense. I mean, almost 2 steals per game. The fact that he's a rebounding monster, he handles the basketball almost like a point guard at times. So, no, I wouldn't sell on Trevor Booker just because Demo's coming in. Mike Dam says, head-to-head, who will have a better value long-term, Kemba or John Wall? Oh, let's see. Who finished better last year? I can't remember that off the top of my head. I will say this. With John Wall, you're going to get the consistent double-doubles, the steals. John Wall is the first answer that I have off the top of my head. I do know that Kemba Walker has been playing out of his mind with the three-pointers, though. So you're kind of Walker saying he can almost do the same thing with less steals but more three-pointers. I think what it's really going to come down to is the field goal percentage. As of right now, he is 15th on the season. That's Kemba Walker. And John Wall is at, as you guys can, I don't know if you can hear them, but my dogs over here are wrestling each other right behind me because for some reason they had to be behind me because I'm on camera. And John Wall's at top 30. John Wall's going to be around that top, 25, 20 player. He's always finds a way to get in that second round. That's where his value normally lives. The 1.3 3-pointers are nice. I think with Kemba Walker, he can be a top 20 guy. So I might go with Kemba Walker, but again, I think that's almost a little bit of a coin flip, just depending on need in itself, because the difference between the 20th best player and also the 25th best player can be just right around 0.3 to 1 point, so it's really not that much. Frank, bring back the cowbells. Do you think Decker can have top 120 value rest of season? He's carving out a role with the Rockets. The thing is that the Rockets, because Demo signed the offer sheet with the Brooklyn Nets, what's his name? Daryl Morey, as I'm watching Danilo Gallinari make some weird trying to do an underhand pass to Nurkic. Daryl Morey keeps speaking highly about how he wants to have, Demo on that team. And so they have a chance, because he's a restricted free agent, to match whatever he was offered. And I think that was kind of where you saw the problems of why hasn't Demo been signed yet. And it's, lack of money, lack of interest that was out there in the league. And if I'm Demo, I'm probably doing the same exact thing. This is probably the last year where he can really truly get paid. And if that's the case, I'm not going to settle for anything. I want Mozgov money, because for Demo, he thinks, hey, I'm better than Mozgov. I deserve some paper. And so he waited it out, and looks like he got the money that he wanted. 4 years, $36 million. So he's getting paid very, very nicely to be a bench guy. And so I think it's going to come down to that. Do I think he could be a top 120 guy? Decker, I think his minutes are going to be so inconsistent. I wouldn't bet on it, to be honest with you. As of right now, where is he at as of right now? He's outside the top 150, and over his even over his last 7 games, he hasn't even cracked 150 yet. He's barely inside the top 160. So I would say no. I just think he's that 3-point specialist. Xiang Lam, welcome back to the show. Should I drop Danny Green and Wes Matthews for 2 of the following: Ingram, Okafor, John Lure, James Johnson, or stay put? 11-team 9-cat roto. I'd stay put with Danny Green. I think the across-the-board production is going to be there for Danny Green, including the blocks, and that's why you kind of stick with a guy like that. With Wes Matthews, he's killing your field goal percentage. And when he's killing your field goal percentage, and in a roto league, that can really, really hurt you. I know he's improved a little bit over his last few games, but again, you saw what happened in Charlotte. He shot terribly. He just doesn't have the legs. He's not the same player that he once was, and that's the problem right now, is that he's just not that same exact player that he once was. So you're kind of just hoping that he can turn that around. I don't think that's going to happen all season. We're around 20 games in. We would know what that is at this point, and as of right now, we just don't. So that's my only issue with that. So I dropped him. So out of the players that I would choose from, Ingram, Okafor, Lure, James Johnson, I really like John Lure. I would consider him, because if Andre Drummond ever goes down, and even right now off the bench, he's having a very significant role and playing very well off the bench for the Pistons. You have a guy in James Johnson who's playing well. I don't know if his role will take a hit as soon as Justice Winslow returns. You would expect that, just because Justice Winslow is going to play a key part, playing both the 3 and the 4, but his minutes should still be there, since he's another ball handling forward. And then Okafor, he's going to be a walking double-double with no defensive stats at all, and that's kind of what you're losing when you drop one of these guys. So I would probably drop Wes Matthews for John Lure and stay put with Danny Green. That would probably be my suggestion there. Mike Dam says, avid view here from the Philippines. Hey, Philippines, bring me some pancit. I'm craving it. Great job, Vince. Thank you so much. We truly, truly appreciate it. We love all the support that we get. Now we love the worldwide audience on this stuff. So thank you so much for joining us. Do you believe Ben Simmons will be deployed by the Sixers this season? I'm hearing a January comeback. You think he'll make an impact worthy of stashing? He's currently available in my league. I was talking about this not that long ago, and the thing is that with Ben Simmons, everyone's looking at him and saying, you know what, he can be this type of player that's going to have the ball in his hand, which is true. And But when I see it, I'm like, okay, he's been out since January. You see what they're doing with Joel Embiid monitoring his minutes. So that's probably going to stay consistent. They're probably still going to continue to monitor his minutes. He's probably going to be turning the basketball over quite a bit because they want to make him a point guard. I think the rebounding numbers are going to be fair. The points are going to be there. Free throw percentage could be up and down at times. I just don't know if it's worthy of a stash. I think it's worthy of a pickup. I think stashing right now is probably a little too early. Maybe like middle of January. You just want to see what it is. Have a lottery ticket in there. But yeah, I think that I'm not high on Ben Simmons being good this year. I'm not as a whole, just this year. But that's just me. But I do see the intrigue. He's available in my league as well. Samuel A says fair trade for a head-to-head points league. Jimmy, shooting guard, small forward, averages 46 points, and Jokic, power forward, CAVG, 21 points. For Otto, small forward, power forward. Oh, I think you meant power forward center. Got it. 21 points. And for Otto Porter, small forward, 31, and Harrison Barnes, 30 points. Is that a fair trade? Probably. I mean, it would depend on what you're getting. I mean, I always look at it that way. I mean, if I'm the person getting Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jokic, I'm definitely gonna want to stick with those guys. If you're the one giving up Otto Porter and Harrison Barnes for Jokic and Jimmy Butler, I mean, I'm not taking that if I'm the Jimmy Butler owner. It's just not gonna happen. But I see the intrigue of it. I mean, the 30 and 30 for those two, and if that's your offer, and you can pull that off, I think that would be a very smart deal, and I think that's something that you should definitely consider. Your daughter was right. This is from Frank. Bring back the cowbells. Your daughter was right about her pick yesterday on the Rockets. Maybe you should have her on more often. Maybe I should, or maybe I'll just ask her and have her record it. She's sleeping right now because it is Fantasy NBA tonight. It's 9:13 out here in Sacramento, and yeah, she's sleeping. She's snoring. She's had a long day, and yeah, she was right. And surprisingly, they won. I didn't think that was going to happen at all. That was something that actually made me a little bit surprised. I didn't think that was actually going to be a thing, but it was a thing. That was very surprising. But yeah, thanks. Maybe I gotta run that through the boss and see if he's okay with that. Then I gotta run it through Dan to make sure he's okay with that because his picks were wrong. I don't know if he wants to get upstaged by a 3-year-old. Maybe he does. Maybe it's funny. I don't know. Have to run that through those guys. I want to thank everyone who was here joining me tonight on Fantasy NBA Tonight Live, a hoop-ball.com presentation. I want to remind everyone that this show is here to do a full Q&A to answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. How do you get your question answered live here on the show? Just do what everybody else here is doing, and that is get your question down in the live chat. I'm monitoring it very closely, and all you got to do is get your question in there, read it, I answer it live here on the show, and give you the fantasy insight that will help you win your leagues today. Another thing that I want to remind everyone that this is for premium members. Normally the show is not live. Normally the show is not free. But what you get is you get instant reaction to these games that are going on right now on the premium side of the show, getting their full read of the box score, getting your question answered every single night, Monday through Friday, from our hoop ball experts. And again, you can do that here at hoop-ball.com. All you got to do is go over to hoop-ball.com, go on the premium membership side, and become a premium member today. I'm telling you, it's worth it. The starts, the tools that are there, these podcasts that are there. Aaron Brewski does an amazing waiver wire show. There's a weekly lineup show that comes out on Mondays. The waiver wire show is on Sundays. It just keeps you up to date with what is going on around the NBA and also how you should be able to win in your fantasy leagues and how you can continue holding that pride of beating all of your friends or all of your competitors. So again, become a premium member today. Just go to hoop-ball.com and click on that premium membership tab. As I move back over to the chat board here to see if anyone else is asking any questions, and it looks like we have one more. Nope, it's just a thank you here. So with the questions now being out of the way, I think what we can do is go to the box score a little bit and give the initial reaction to tonight's game. And with a lot of these, we'll run through a lot of it. It doesn't seem like these games are that entertaining. Like I said in the beginning of the show, Orlando destroyed Orlando destroyed the Sixers 105-88, so that was terrible. and really not that fun to watch. And so we'll start with the Orlando side with Aaron Gordon finally having a good night after a while, scored 20 points with 2 rebounds, no assists. He did get a block. He was 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point land, and 1 turnover. Serge Ibaka played 25 minutes, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block on 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 1 of 5 from three-point range, and no turnovers. Bismack Biyombo continues to start for the Magic here against the Sixers. 32 minutes, 4 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists. Surprisingly, though, no defensive stats, which is an interesting takeaway for me. 1 of 1 from the field, 2 of 6 from the free throw line, which isn't great for his owners, and also 1 turnover. Evan Fournier produced a little bit across the board and a little bit of everywhere here for his owners today. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals on 4 of 11 shooting, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 1 of 2 from three-point range, and 1 turnover. DJ Augustin, and this is what we're going to talk about here a little bit, including DJ Augustin and Elfrid Payton. But DJ Augustin, once again, got the start, 21 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists on 3 of 6 shooting, 3 of 4 from three-point range, 1 turnover, finished with a plus 14 on the night. Nikola Vucevic played the most minutes off the bench. He finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block on 5 of 9 shooting, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and just 1 turnover. He was plus 20 off the bench. And here's where it gets down to the big part here, where it is Elfrid Payton, who played 23 minutes. He had 2 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, and 1 steal on 1 of 2 shooting, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, 0 of 1 from three-point range, and 1 turnover. He was a plus 7 on the night. So it looks like we're seeing a complete timeshare at the point guard position between DJ Augustin and Elfrid Payton. Now, the thing is that they stuck with DJ Augustin in the starting lineup. And now I don't know if that's going to be something consistent or if that was just because Elfrid Payton needed to be demoted because he hasn't been playing well this season. Either way, you could see an argument for both sides. And then the minutes, is it because it was a blowout game? We really don't know what the excuse was for it, but it does look like there's going to be a timeshare, and rightfully so. I think DJ Augustin brings a little bit of something different that Elfrid Payton can't, which is spread the floor out and open the floor up more for the big men like a Vucevic, like an Ibaka, even though Ibaka really doesn't put his back to the basket, and gets more rebounds for a guy like Bismack Biyombo, who, if you need rebounds and blocks, he's definitely the guy you want to look at. And field goal percentage, he may just hurt you on nights like this where he gets to the free throw line a little too much and can knock it down. With Elfrid Payton, this is really going to hurt his value if he continues to come off the bench, 1 and 2, gets into a timeshare with DJ Augustin. I think with DJ Augustin in the middle of the timeshare, you have to look at him and you say he may be worth a look in the 14 to 16 team type of leagues with his ability to rack up points. The 3-3-pointers were nice. The assist numbers, he can get you a handful of them. He can be definitely worth the look. But with Elfrid Payton, he was owned in a lot of leagues, and cat league probably better than a 9-cat league, but his field goal percentage is terrible. He's not getting you 3-pointers. He's not that really great of a fantasy asset. Now you're restricting him to only 23 minutes and having to produce in those 23 minutes. It looks like it's a big problem, and I think it was probably a big mistake for them to trade away Victor Oladipo to the Oklahoma City Thunder and stick all hands on deck with Elfrid Payton, who's now not even going to be the team's starter. It looks like, at least for now. Looking at the question here, it says Patrick Lowe says, Rubio and Gallo offered for my Jay Crowder. Should I accept? Absolutely not. Those are 2 very injury-prone players that are scary to own on your team. Now, I get it. With Rubio, it's like a top 40 guy. If he gets moved, it looks nice. It's going to be one of those things where you're like, oh man, he got me 3 assists. He got me 10. He got me 3 steals and 10 assists and maybe like 8 points on. But he shot 4 of 11 from the field, so that's terrible. It's going to be up and down with Rubio until he is moved. That's really the key piece here, and I think Jay Crowder is better than that. With Danilo Gallinari, as a whole, he's really not that good other than the points. And on top of that, he can literally hit the brakes one time in the middle of the game to try and hit a jump shot, and he won't turn out to be that good overall, because then he'll be missing 4 months. So I don't think either are better than Jay Crowder. So I would stick with Jay Crowder. Jalen has thoughts, guys. I received. Sorry, let me try that again. Thoughts, guys. I received a trade for my Karl-Anthony Towns for Porzingis, head-to-head 10-team league, 9 cat. I have no clue what to do. That is a very tough question. You got to stick with Towns. I mean, that dude's going to be amazing, and he has such a big role to fill with Minnesota, trying to get out of the slump that they're in. They're not starting off the way a lot of people thought. They were a dark horse to be the 8th seed in the West, and the West hasn't really been that good, to be honest with you. So they still have a chance to do it, even with their struggles. But Karl-Anthony Towns definitely needs to step up. As of right now, I believe he is outside of the top 120 in 9-cat leagues, and Porzingis is inside the top 120, or not 120, the top 20 as a whole, and Towns is outside of it. I'm pulling that up as we speak just to make sure I can verify that, not getting off the top of my head. So we have Kristaps, who's currently after tonight is still in the top 20, and you have Karl-Anthony Towns just above him at 17. It's a 0.41 to a 0.39. I think you need to stick with Karl-Anthony Towns. He's first round. He's a first round talent. He was projected to be top seven player in the league. You got to stick with him. You can't get rid of him for Porzingis. I know it's enticing, especially after how the season has started for Karl-Anthony Towns. But yeah, I definitely think you guys stick it out a little bit. Going down to the next one, he said, also, while you're discussing Rubio, you think he's a hold right now. He's not offering me too much. I've benched him. I have Rubio on my team. So I have Rubio in my 12-team 9-cat league. I'm holding on to him just because the assists are going to be there. The steals are going to be there. The inconsistency is going to be there, and I know that. So at times you just have to bench him right now, and that's the biggest problem with having Rubio on your team, if you can deal with the inconsistency and then knowing when to put him in and what certain matchups you should have him in. So that's going to be my biggest problem with Rubio, and it should be with everybody. But I still think he's worth the hold. He's too good of a talent to let just sit out there on a waiver wire. Frank, bring back the Cowboys, says, what kind of PG do you think I can get for Trevor Booker? Oh, what kind of point guard can you get for a guy like Trevor Booker? Booker on the year, I know he's like third round value or something like that. He's playing so well this year. He's going to be the pickup of the year. I don't see anybody else who is not even drafted that was a waiver wire pickup that's outplaying what Trevor Booker is doing on the season. Yeah, again, he's a top 30 player. Who can you get for a top 30 player in Trevor Booker? That's a really good question. Let me go back to that. No, I don't think it's gonna be George Hill, although I would definitely try. That'd be a definitely person that you can try. But George Hill is playing too well when he's on the floor. You can't really do just Trevor Booker straight up. That's a really good question. I think you can actually. You know what? I got it. I think you can get Goran Dragic. I think you can get a Goran Dragic. I think you can get like a Darren Collison. Buy low on Darren Collison. Who else is out there that I think you could potentially get? I think you can get a D'Angelo Russell. I think a D'Angelo Russell would be a nice buy low with Trevor Booker. I don't know if I want to get rid of Trevor Booker though. I think I never thought that Trevor Booker. Wait, excuse me one second. Dogs, you got to stop. I'm on the show. They for some reason every time I get live, these guys want to start barking. I don't know what that is. I don't know if Booker is going to be able to sustain top 30 value all year. I think he's going to be a top 50 guy for sure. But George Hill, I would love to say George Hill. If you can get George Hill for Trevor Booker, I definitely think so. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get it just because of how well George Hill has played when he's on the floor. I think you have to wait till he slims down a little bit. Let's see here. Next question from H. Chan. Would you give up CP3 and Lowry for Westbrook and Seth Curry? I hope that no, they can't do it. For just Westbrook, you're giving up CP3 and Lowry for Westbrook and Seth Curry. Absolutely not. Vince, you think they're going to start running their offense more through Towns? From the games I've watched, Zach LaVine and Wiggins are usually taking over the offense a lot, and it frustrates me. You know what it is? And actually, I believe it was on Fantasy NBA Today not that long ago with Dan Besbris and Aaron Brewski. They talked about it. The Minnesota Timberwolves don't pass the basketball. Like, that's the problem. It's grab it. I'm looking to score. If I have to pass, I will. And that's the problem, is that Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't get the ball on the block, and they don't run the offense through him. They just run it's my turn type of system. Now they need to be running the game through Karl Anthony Towns, and I think that they're going to start moving toward that at some point, especially towards the end of the season. Another problem that I'm seeing with Karl Anthony Towns is that he's falling in love with his jumper. And that's my biggest issue with Karl Anthony Towns, is that he loves his jumper so much. I mean, even tonight, he knocked down 3 3-pointers, but I believe he took 7 attempts from down there. And that's just not something that you want to see from your big man, taking 7 attempts from 3-point range. You want to see him down in the low block. And it was 5 attempts. You want to see him down in the low block. Again, excuse me. Sorry. You want to see him down in the low block, getting those easy points, putting his back to the basket, and scoring on these guys. That's exactly what you want to see. So I don't think it's a big problem about them running the offense through Towns. What I think it is that it's really just running too much ISO ball, and that's been the huge problem with this team all season long, and that's what Aaron was talking about not that long ago. I traded Gortat for D'Angelo Russell. Good deal. I mean, Gortat's been a walking double-double, but I love the upside of what D'Angelo Russell brings. I think this guy could be a top 40 player, to be honest with you. The assists are going to be there. My only problem right now with D'Angelo Russell is he's not seeing 30 minutes consistently. Like, I don't know what it is, if there's like they're just monitoring him to see what he's going to do. But he's not getting 30 minutes on a consistent basis. And you could say that about all the Lakers. I don't think any of the Lakers are averaging more than 30 minutes. And maybe some are now because of the injuries. But on the season as a whole, it's Gortat. He's a top 60 player, just missing the top 50 cut. 11.8 points, 12.1 rebounds. The assists are fine. The 1.2 blocks are fine. The 62.3% from the free throw line is not good, especially since he gets to the free throw line almost 9 times per game. Almost 3 times per game. So you definitely want to see that go up. And if he was knocking down his free throws more consistently on those 3 times, he's getting to the line, you would think that his rating would go up. So I don't think it was a bad deal, because I see the upside potential with D'Angelo Russell. I'm a huge fan of D'Angelo, ice in my veins Russell. But you gave up a pretty nice piece to get him. So was it a good deal? I'm gonna say yes. I think I love the upside of what D'Angelo Russell can bring, especially to the second half of the season. But again, you definitely gave up a little bit, giving up Gortat. Jalen says this is so true. So much ISO. Yeah, again, the ISO for Minnesota is just terrible. They do not like to pass the basketball. Karl Towns benefits so much with Rubio playing. I saw that from last year as well. He benefits a lot from Rubio. Yeah, he does. But the thing is, like, with what Thibodeau is doing is, I mean, with Rubio being benched, I just don't think they know what they're trying to do. Like, their identity is, I have a star player and I have young talent. I don't know how to utilize any of them. And that's what the problem is right now with this team, is they don't know how to utilize any of their pieces. And I think they need Rubio, but they don't want to need Rubio. They're not using Chris Dunn, who can potentially be that next Rubio and would be basically put up Rubio type lines. It's very tough, because you see the talent within the talent. It's just the talent's being so bad because they're playing so much ISO, and it's bad basketball. That's all it is. That's the only way you can cut it, is that the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing bad basketball right now. You think they move someone like a LaVine this year? I don't know if it's Zach LaVine. I think they could still move Chris Dunn. I mean, they've kept him so much of a secret. He played decent as a starter. He didn't play good. I won't say he played good, but he played decent as the team starter. And that's kind of where you can potentially see something for that move that was reported, that they're going to trade one of their young players for a veteran. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. Like, what type of veteran are they looking to get? And I've talked about that on other shows. I don't understand what veteran that they're looking to acquire. and what type of player that would be, because Rubio, although he's pretty young, he has experience being from the Olympics, playing with Kevin Love. And although they've never made the playoffs, he knows how to win games. It's not like that Minnesota team never won games. And that's a big problem is I don't think they know their identity. And they need to know an identity with what their young core is. I think Thibodeau really needs to figure out who he's giving the ball to and how they're going to run it, because with Zach LaVine, I feel like, and you guys can think I'm completely wrong, and I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. This could be something that either you guys completely agree with or you completely disagree with. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So, warning, this may not agree with all of you guys, but I feel like Zach LaVine is turning into a like Derrick Rose. I think that's what he's going to be. Is he has the potential to be Derrick Rose for the Bulls during his good years, the athleticism, the ability to get up and down the floor, the ball handling ability, but the defense is subpar at times. And that's the problem with Zach LaVine right now, is that his defense is so inconsistent but if it's there, he could be so good. He's leading the team in scoring. Andrew Wiggins isn't doing anything else but scoring the basketball. Honestly, I think if they're trading anybody, it could be Gorgui Dieng. Just because he's been so inconsistent, which would be I think would be very unfortunate if they traded a guy like Gorgui Dieng, just because I think he's a nice fit next to what Karl Anthony Towns is as a player, so that he can play inside and out. But I think Zach LaVine is going to be Tom Thibodeau's new Derrick Rose, and I think that if they're going to trade any young player, it's going to be Gorgui Dieng. But I just don't know what they want in return. I think that's so weird. I think could it be a Luol Deng type of player? Maybe. Is it a Jared Dudley? I think Jared Dudley would be a perfect piece to this team. Move him down to the 3 spot. I think, is it a Rudy Gay? And they're trading away Ricky Rubio. I mean, that's a rumor that's been going on since the offseason, is will Rubio be moved, and will it be for another small forward? Because I still think that Andrew Wiggins is better suited to being a shooting guard rather than the team small forward. He played shooting guard before with Tyshawn Prince there, and he was getting the minutes at the 2 spot. I think that's an interesting idea that they definitely need to look at. Or, again, they need to start looking at, and I'm glad you brought this up, and I'm looking at the chat now, is they could start looking at bringing Zach LaVine back off the bench. And that would mean more minutes for a guy like Shabazz Muhammad, but they're not even using Muhammad enough to where I don't know if it's a trust issue or if they just see him as purely just a scorer. But when he's on the floor and he's engaged, that dude is fun to watch. I'm a fan of Shabazz Muhammad a little bit. That left hand, he's like a broke man's, homeless man's version. He's the broke man of a broke man's homeless man version of James Harden, because he can handle the basketball. He loves to get up and down the floor. He just can't shoot consistently. That's my only problem. So I said a broke man's broke man, homeless man of a James Harden. But again, I think Gorgui Dieng is probably, if they're going to trade a young core piece, it's definitely going to be probably like Gorgui Dieng or Ricky Rubio. And again, I think getting a guy like Rudy Gay on that team and moving Andrew Wiggins to the 2 wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. I think that would actually be a smart move for them. But the Timberwolves are struggling. They need to get better. They were my dark horse team. I thought this team was going to be amazing, and I was 110% wrong. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Again, there was so much hype around that team. It's just so weird. So let's continue down the box score charts here as we were looking at Orlando and Philadelphia. I don't have really too much more to say over the DJ Augustine and Elfrid Payton situation. So what I will say is that if you're an Elfrid Payton owner, I would definitely think that you're not going to be a huge fan of him anymore, being that he's in time. So I definitely would look at cutting him. And I was already looking at cutting him before. Hyperdunk 24 says, is Monroe worth a hold in a 14-team league? Yes, he is. Top 40 player. The guy can be a top 50 player. He's a walking double-double with steals. He shoots the free throws well. He's a nice field goal percentage. He's gonna, if the thing is too, like that's so funny that you brought up Greg Monroe. So the other day I was at the bank and I was standing in line, and I was watching the games on my phone, and the guy said, "Oh, you're watching the Milwaukee versus Brooklyn game." I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "What are they gonna do with Greg Monroe?" Like that was the conversation. And I said, honestly, I really don't know. And this guy was bringing up some solid points about the fact that he has a player option at the end of this year. And what are after the All-Star break, if they can't find a suitor for Monroe, does he stay there? Because I think it's like an $18 million, $14 million player option if he stays, or does he not like it so much in Milwaukee that he's willing to go and take a pay cut a little bit to go to be with a different team? Now, because I think there's teams out there that'll love the services of what Greg Monroe brings. Again, I think a team like a Portland could use a center in Greg Monroe. I think a team like Toronto can use a power forward like a Greg Monroe. I think there's a lot of teams that can use his services, so I don't think he's not going to be worthy of anything. But what is Milwaukee trying to get out of him? So let's say after the break, if he's not moved, are they going to start playing him? And are they going to start playing him more? So, I mean, those are so many questions. When he gets the minutes, he's going to be productive. The minutes are going to be inconsistent, but he's too good of a player to not be holding in any 14 deep league. And if you guys don't know, this is my dog Core. This is my pups right here. I don't know if you can see her anymore, but yeah, that's my boxer. She's beautiful. She's amazing. I love dogs. Move on to the next question here. And I hope I answered your question just straightforward, Hyperdunk. Yes. Is Monroe worth a hold in 14 team leagues? I say 100% yes. They should trade him for draft picks. Again, that's a continued conversation from the Minnesota side. Mike Dam says, opinion on Brook Lopez. I'm having trouble why a guy his size has trouble rebounding the ball. Tough. He rebounds the ball like a point guard who only gets handfuls of assists. That's really he's trying to avoid getting hurt. He doesn't want to be down low anymore. That's what it is. We talk about how Serge Ibaka has turned into a small forward shooting guard at the power forward position. This guy has done the same thing, but he's knocking down 3-point shots with crazy consistency. I am been trying so hard to move Brook Lopez. I have been trying my hardest to sell high on Brook Lopez, but what are you selling high on? Like, that's the problem. That's the problem I've been finding with Brook Lopez is I want to move this guy. You know the injury risks are there, but so does every other owner. So that's one. Two, he's going to get the occasional rest off, so that's not looking good. Now you have this news about Demo, which is 3. So does that mean he's going to get even more nights off because he has the backup help to where he doesn't need to be on the floor? And I don't know if I'm as high on Demo as everybody else is because I think that back really is an issue that people are going to overlook at times when he gets picked up. But I do think if he sticks with the Nets, he's going to be worthy of a pickup at standard leagues, just so you guys know to get that question out of the way. But yeah, Brook Lopez, I'm trying to sell high on him. What can you get for him is such a huge question mark. Again, I've tried to get a point guard for him. I've tried Goran Dragic. The points are there. The value is there. He's just not producing in his minutes, or he's producing. He's just not. He's not. I don't think he'll ever produce to remove the injury tag away from him, even if he's not playing that big man basketball anymore. Yeah, he's terrible at rebounding. Yeah. Jalen says, what kind of value do you think Ben Simmons is going to return when he comes back? Right now, he's sitting on waivers, thinking of moving on him in mid-December. I said this in the beginning of the show when this question was asked. I'll harp on it a little bit more. With Ben Simmons, the value, I mean, honestly, I think he'll be a top 120 guy. That's where I see him landing, is somewhere around the top 120. I don't see him being much better than that. If he gets the top 100, I think that would be a huge win for you if you went to stash him in mid-December. I see the enticing reasons to go after him, right? He's going to have the ball in his hands. Brett Brown's already talked about that. He's a guy that can grab rebounds. He's going to be able to score points. He's such a key piece to what the Sixers are going to be. But this Sixers team now is Simmons' team, is Embiid's team. Like, they're gonna run through him as much as possible. Why? Because Embiid has proven something now. He's improved that he can get 25 and 10 on almost any given night. So this Embiid, I'm on that train. I'm on that train now. I wasn't on in the beginning of the year. For those who have joined us since the beginning of the year, first off, thank you for sticking around. And two, I'm on the train. I'm on the Embiid train. Choo choo. But Ben Simmons, again, I don't know how good of a free throw shooter he really is going to be. The field goal percentage is going to be definitely be up and down all year long. The turnovers are going to be there because they want him to be a point guard, which I don't understand why. I think being a small forward is just fine. I think he's going to try and do a lot of driving because that jump shot is broken. That jump shot is broken. But it's not like Simmons is forcing shots. He'll be feeding Embiid, right? You would hope so. And yeah, Embiid's going to get the ball. But then when does Simmons get the ball in hand? So that takes away from what Simmons is doing. And that's the big problem right now with like a guy like Robert Covington. Robert Covington was good last year because when he got cold and then he would get super hot. The reason why he's not getting super hot is because they've strictly made him a 3-and-D guy. He has to, roam around the perimeter, wait till Embiid gets the ball, and shoot threes. He took 9 shots tonight, and this is Robert Covington. Covington took 9 shots tonight. 7 of those shots were from three-point range. He just so happened to make 3 of them. So, and he's no JJ Redick. If you leave him open, there's not a guarantee that he's making that 3-point shot. So with Ben Simmons, he's going to have the ball in his hands. The best way he's going to score is going to be driving to the basket, doing a Euro step, and getting points the easy way. And that's with the right or left hand around the rim. And then going to the free throw line. And how good of a free throw shooter is he? We saw through the preseason, he's decent. He's not terrible, but he's decent. The jump shot is still broken. I don't trust the jump shot. Plus, again, he's coming off of an injury from his foot. Are they going to monitor his minutes? That's going to be a huge question. Are they going to monitor his minutes? I feel like an idiot. I dropped Ryan Anderson for Jokic when I could have dropped Covington. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you did like a terrible drop. Ryan Anderson's a 3-pointers, rebounds guy, points, inconsistent points, good free throws. I mean, yeah, you should have dropped Covington for sure. But I'm going to wait here for a few more minutes. I'm going to go over one more team's box score. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. With this show and how it's going to be ran is this, especially on the premium side, this is a full Q&A. And with hoop ball still growing, and we fully admit that, we love to admit that, is that we are an up-and-coming growing site that we feel still give out one of the best fantasy analysis out there today with Aaron Bruski at the helm, myself, Dan Bespris, and our whole crew. We're very knowledgeable about the game, and we're not afraid to say that. But at the same time, we know that we're still growing. And so we love to do these free shows occasionally, and especially for our premium members, make sure that we're answering all of your fantasy basketball questions. Now, what I will say is do exactly what Jalen is doing, what everybody else here in this chat is doing, is take advantage of the low amount of questions, because as we continue to grow and as we do these free shows of full Q&A, it's going to be hard to get your question in. Just to be honest with you, we're not going to have time to be able to answer all your questions. So you definitely want to get that in while you can. Now, if you enjoyed this show and if you enjoyed being able to ask your question, get that initial reaction, or at least see that throughout the entire night, first off, please hit that thumbs up button, because we do appreciate the fact that you guys did like this video. Hit subscribe to the YouTube channel to watch myself and Dan Bespris live every single Thursday. There will be more shows coming here very shortly here on the show for the free members, but it's not going to be full Q&A type of things like this. That's going to be on the premium side. So go over to hoop-ball.com now. This is number 2. Go to hoop-ball.com, click on that premium members tab, become a premium member today, and start getting your fantasy basketball questions answered every single day, Monday through Friday, here on Fantasy NBA Tonight Live. We also have a question and answer service where if you don't want to pay the $29.99 to become a premium in-season member, have your questions answered through the question and answer service. Now you can choose from plans between getting your question answered between 4 hours to 1 hour. You get to choose your expert. That is also over at hoop-ball.com, and the prices range between what expert you choose and what plan you choose. So definitely go over there and check that out. There's also a video on YouTube right now in our channel. So again, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe to that button. Aaron Bruski did a full tutorial on how to use the question and answer service. After the show ends, please go over there and watch that video. It's right around 2-3 minutes long. It's not that long at all. Go over there, watch it, and see if that's something that works for you. If you love having your questions answered and you want to have the edge over everyone in your leagues. So I'll take one more glance over here at the chat board, see if we got any other questions here. It says Brewski told me that if you like roller coasters, you stick with Covington. So I took his advice. Yeah, he's gonna be a bumpy road all year long. Dan says, I love you, Vince. Love you, Dan. Thanks for taking that L for me. What else was here? We had I trade Drew for Brook Lopez. What would be best if would be best if I try to trade him for Jokic or should just keep him? If you can trade Brook Lopez for Nikola Jokic, that would be a steal. Go try and do that right now. Frank Bring Back the Cowbell says, when are you going to play Brewski and Cause? Well, first off, I know Brewski's probably watching this since he's on shift right now doing the blurbs, and as soon as I end, I'll be over there as well. So again, go subscribe to our Twitter handle at HoopballTweets and go check that out, and you guys can get the updates of today's games. Brewski don't want this. I'll say that right now. Brewski's not ready for this. They talk. If you guys listen to the Cause and Brew show, if you haven't done so yet, go subscribe right now, iTunes.com, and then just search Cause and Brew under the podcast channel. Them guys did a show today. For some reason, I'm the new stat boy. Yeah, I'm the guy who puts up stats on them boys. That's what it is. They're misinterpreting that word. Second, they're old guys. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm young. I'm fine with admitting that. I have no problem with admitting that. I'm old at heart a little bit, but I got young lugs, young legs, and a great jump shot that looks better than Seth Curry for the Mavs. And I can beat Rajon Rondo in a game of horse. I take that, even though he kept up with Kevin Durant during the All-Star game. I don't know if you guys remember that, but hashtag fun fact, hashtag snap a fact. But they don't want this. They're old. They'll get this work. Brewski don't want it. He don't want it at all. Cause, I'm a little worried about, just to be honest with you. This guy ran track in college. He's still in shape today. He's probably right around like 6'2". I'm 5'8", fat, brown, and on the ground. I don't do much. I'm like a roly-poly, but I got that Raymond Felton, Seth Curry type game. Like they don't want this. Plus, I got the Wes Matthews post-up moves. God, I'm Paul Pierce. I'm Paul Pierce at 5'8". They don't want this. They're not ready. Sorry, Cause and Brew. I gotta put you on blast. They asked. William Talks says Tyreke Evans and Ben Simmons for Clay. Would you do it if you had the pair? If I had the pair. So Tyreke Evans and Ben Simmons for Klay Thompson, would you do it? No, I would not. No, at all. Just because you can track. Oh, just because you ran track don't mean you can make that thing splash like Vince. Tell him, Jalen. Tell him, Jalen. I got ice in my veins out here. I put these people. You know what? I'm gonna just because you did that, you made me feel good. You made me feeling good about myself right now. I threw a baby shower last week or a couple weeks ago. I had my son's baby shower. Son's coming in January, so I may be off the show for a little bit during that time when my son is born. But anyways, had a baby shower. My buddy came through the baby shower. You know, it was a co-ed. And for some reason, he's like, "Hey," calls me out from my family. Like, let's play basketball. Let's play for a little cheddar. And I was like, okay, we can play a little bit. And so we played. And well, let's just say it was a close game. Mainly just due to the fact that I let it be close because I didn't play absolutely any defense because I didn't really have to. Called almost all of my points. Took the ball to the right-hand quarter, basically like Kyrie did to Steph Curry, and waited till his hand was down because you know what they say, hand down, man down. And yeah, I gave that dude some work. And Mike Green, yeah, I'm put your name out there too. If you're watching this show, I'm shouting you out. First off, you're my boy. I love you, but you got this work, and I have to admit that as well. Yeah, well, thanks for letting me talk about me. Thanks for letting me talk about myself, guys. I definitely appreciate it. We've actually got to go through one whole box score. You guys have filled up the chat board with questions all day long. Jalen, it was great talking to you. Frank from Beth the Cowbell, thanks for bringing up the topic of Brewski and Cause versus Vince. I'm telling you, I would give those guys 5 points. They think that I would get no inch room of space. All I have to do is I have to start off with the ball. I give them 5 points. It's winner's take. I just have to run around for a long period of time till they get out of breath, and then I win because they're gonna sag. That's the problem. They think they're not gonna sag. They're gonna sag, and I'm gonna call my points. Don't get off. If you give me 4 wide open shots, I'm making 3 of them. That's how good of a shooter I am. I'm glad to admit it. And I have all. I don't even talk to them anymore. The reason why I talk is because I back it up. You can ask the people who I have a pair of shoes over here that I beat somebody for a pair of their shoes. They don't want this workout here. Yeah, they were talking bad about me earlier today. I'm getting my shots in now. Thank you guys so much. We've completely veered off of fantasy basketball. You guys, I blame you guys, the viewers, the fans. I truly appreciate it. I see Hyperdunks asked the question, says Will Barton rest of season projection. I think he's gonna be a top 80 guy. I think he's gonna be a 6-man. I think he was a 6-man player last year. He has the potential to do a lot of things for this team. I think top 80 is better suited for maybe an 8-cat league due to the turnovers. The field goal percentage is going to definitely be up and down, but I do think he has the potential to be right around 43% field goal shooter. The three-pointers can definitely be there. He's going to be a useful piece for the Nuggets off the bench so they can run small. He's lengthy. It's just about being healthy for that guy. And I think Wilson Chandler, once he gets moved, it's even more minutes for a guy like Will Barton. I definitely like him. I don't know if right now he's worthy of holding in a lot of standard leagues just because he is so up and down. It's almost like owning a Robert Covington, just with more, three-pointers and I guess less inconsistency. But at the same time, I guess it's literally just like owning a Robert Covington. But I think Covington's better. So, I mean, that's kind of puts the perspective of what he can be. Rest of the season, though, I think he can be decent. Just to put it on a whole, he has the potential to be a top 80 guy. There's a good chance he just finishes right inside or just outside of the top 100 on the year. But I do like Will Barton. I definitely think he can be a good basketball player. And what's weird is that a lot of these guys have him outside of the top 150. And last year in 9-cat leagues, he was a top 80. He finished as the 83rd best player in fantasy. So going back to the chat just to make sure there's anything else there. That is it. Hyperdunks, you were the last question of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching Fantasy NBA Tonight and joining me here on tonight's show. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button so that you guys know that you enjoy the show. Bookmark hoop-ball.com for all of your fantasy basketball news. Follow me on Twitter at VMCenter, the site at HoopBallTweets. We will be live with you guys once again on I will be live with our premium members, those who joined us here tonight, with you guys on Monday at 9 p.m. Aaron Brewski will be with you guys on Sunday for the Waiver Wire show. And then it's Fantasy NBA today throughout the week. New things are coming. Big things are coming. Become a premium member today at hoop-ball.com. Check out the question and answer service. Check out the entire site because I don't think anyone really knows how strong and how good that site truly is. It's a great site. A lot of things that are on there that a lot of guys haven't really even tested out yet, and they should. The start-sit service for the premium members, a lot of things that are there that we definitely need to continue to get out. So, again, thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Check out our blurbs throughout the night. Aaron Brewski and I are on shift for tonight. So, again, have a good one.